Good morning. Today we are going to start the third chapter, I Stand With You Against the Disorder, written by Janet Armstrong. Let's start with Janet Armstrong. Janet Armstrong was born in 1948 on the Okanagan Reserve in British Columbia. She is a Canadian author, educationist, artist, sculptor, and indigenous civil rights activist. She is the first Native woman novelist from Canada. She is referred to as an educator and protector of the indigenous people. Her life has been an endless campaign wherein she strived to alter the deep-rooted prejudices and wrong notions associated with Aboriginal people. So her life, she made endless campaigns wherein she strived, that means she make a great effort to change the deep-rooted prejudices and wrong concept associated with the Aboriginals. Actually, she is working for Aboriginals. She is in Okanagan and she is working for not only the Okanagan but also the Aboriginals. And she wants to make them understand the importance of their own culture. That is why she is conducting many campaigns to make them understand their importance of their own culture. Her main objective in writing was to educate young people about native culture and history. That is why she is writing and she is trying to educate young people about the importance of their own culture and their own history. So that is why she is deliberately adding all these points relating the culture and history in her writings. And she is trying to educate the people, especially the young generation, about the importance of Aboriginals' culture and their history. She is proud of her culture and traditions. At the same time, she wants to make them understand the importance of their own culture. That is why we say she is an educator. She received a traditional education from her Okanagan elders and thereby learned the Okanagan Indian language and speaks it fluently. She is proud of her heritage. Actually, in her life, she received the traditional education from her Okanagan elders. She was interested to learn the tradition from her elders. And even she can easily speak her Okanagan language. She is very fluent in that language. More than that, she is very proud of her tradition. Writing for her is a heating process through which constantly articulates that there is nothing disgraceful about her brown skin or native philosophy. Then I told you, she takes her writing as a healing process. She thinks she can do a lot of things through her writing. That is why she takes her writing as a healing process. And she is trying to express that there is nothing disgraceful, that there is nothing dishonorable about her brown skin. There is no need to worry about your skin color. There is no need to any complex relating your culture or tradition, because she is proud as an Okanagan. She condemns the Western philosophers and their educational objectives, which only serve to alienate the Indians from their indigenous selves, thereby accelerating the suicide rates among them. Actually, she condemns the Western philosophers and their educational objectives. Contempt means she expresses her complete disapproval on the Western philosophers and their educational objectives. And she says, actually through these Western philosophers and their educational objectives, they are trying to be isolated. As the result, we can see that the number of suicide rates increasing day by day. That is why she condemns the Western philosophers and their educational objectives. Then I told you she is very proud as a Okanagan, and she already learned their own culture and they have their own traditional education. She already learned the traditional education from her Okanagan elders. So that is why she is very confident. She is proud as a Okanagan, and even she is confident to say that comparing the Western culture and the educational objectives, there is no doubt it is I am very proud of a Okanagan. That means through their Western educational objectives, death rates are increasing. Armstrong maintains an optimistic stance and communicates it to the people. So definitely Armstrong maintains an optimistic attitude. I think optimistic, what it is optimistic? Yes, optimistic means hopeful and confident about the future. She is very confident about her future. She is very hopeful also. That is why Armstrong maintain an optimistic stance. Stance means attitude. Armstrong maintains an optimistic attitude and communicates it to the people. That is why she is maintaining a good relationship with the Aboriginals. She is an Okanagan. At the same time, she wants to protect Aboriginals, the indigenous people, and through her campaigns she is trying to make them understand about their own culture, their own traditions, their own educational system. And she is very confident, she is optimistic in her attitude, and she is communicating with her people through this tradition. She has a strong belief that a connection can be established between the Aboriginals and Europeans. If we can connect at that honest level between people, between individuals, between sexes, races or classes, that's what is gonna make the differences and bring about the healing. We human beings have to bring us closer. It's not gonna be politics that will connect people. To touch and understand one another is to bridge our differences. So definitely she wants to make the unity among people. She wants to make the unity between the Okanagans or the Aboriginals and Europeans. So she says, definitely it is a healing process. Human beings should have to bring us closer. Then only we can easily understand each other. To touch and understand one another is to bridge our differences. There is no need to point out the differences. Then we can understand each other. We can stand together. Then only it will be happened. According to her, democracy should respect and protect any individual's rights, and if a single person is denied them, it jeopardizes the rights of others, including that of women, minority or others. Janet Armstrong has her own strong attitude and her own strong belief relating democracy. So she says democracy should respect and protect each and every individual's rights. That is important. Democracy has the responsibility to protect each and every individual's rights. When a single person is denied their rights, it jeopardizes. Jeopardizes means put in danger. So when the democracy denies the rights of an individual, definitely it will put in danger the right of others, including women, minority or others. Then we can move to her literary career. She began her literary career by writing a poem on John F. Kennedy. So she is a very famous Canadian writer, I already told you. Actually, she begins her literary career by writing a poem on John F. Kennedy. She has written 2 novels. First one is Slash. Slash published in 1985. It is her first novel and most famous novel. This is regarded as the first novel by a First Nations woman. Okay, so it is her first novel. What's the name of the novel? Yes, Slash. She started her literary career by writing a poem on John F. Kennedy. After that, in 1985, she published her first novel, that it is Slash. It is not only her first novel but also the first novel by a First Nations woman. Breath Tracks is an anthology of poems published in 1991. Her second novel, Whispering Shadow, was written in 2000. She took the break in between her first and second novels. First novel was Slash. It was published in 1985. Then the second novel is her Whispering Shadow. Whispering Shadow. It published in 2000. In between that, she also published Breath Track. It is an anthology of poems published in 1991. All My Relations, an anthology of contemporary Canadian native fiction, is a collection of her short stories and 2 children's books. So she wrote poems, novels, short stories and children's books. According to Armstrong, individual creativity involves larger community obligations. She says, however much the artist is elevated, the community alongside must be elevated as well and must benefit as well. Elevated means make feel happy. So we can see that she says an artist can bring the changes in people. First of all, an artist should be motivated by herself or himself. She has the commitment, she has the responsibilities towards the people. So through her writings, definitely an artist can make the changes among people. That is why she says artist is elevated, the community alongside must be elevated as well and must benefit as well. So that is why she knew what it is her aim, what it is her destination. That is why she deliberately adding all these points in her writing. That is why she is also known as a educationist. That is why she is trying to educate the Aboriginals about their tradition and their history. And first of all, she is optimistic and confident, and she is sharing all these positive attitudes towards her people and also Aboriginals. She wants to protect them. Even we already identify what it is her attitude towards democracy. She believes in democracy. At the same time, she says democracy should be protected, each and every individual's rights. We can't give any compromise in that case. If any individuals gets the possibility to be denied his or her rights, we can't predict the after effects. So that is why she says, I am very optimistic in my attitude. We can make the changes among the people as an artist. Actually, she proved it through her works. Okay. Then Janet Armstrong is a professor of Indigenous Studies and Canada Research Chair in Indigenous Philosophy. She is working as a professor of Indigenous Studies and Canada Research Chair in Indigenous Philosophy. She has a clear idea about indigenous culture. Then I repeated it several times. She is living to protect and make them understand about their own culture and their own history. She derives great satisfaction in that. Her research contributes directly to the empowerment of the Okanagan community and other indigenous communities and provides them with a positive outlook. She has the passion to work for indigenous people. Actually, she is an Okanagan, but at the same time, she wants to protect all the Aboriginals. That is why she is researching the same topic, indigenous studies. Through her research, she helps directly to the empowerment of the Okanagan community and also the indigenous people or the Aboriginals. She wants to make them empowered. She wants to make them very powerful. They can stand on their own legs. That is her aim. She is working for that. She is making the studies relating that. We already identified, she already learned traditional education directly through her Okanagan elders. So she has the platform. She is doing the research on the same topic. Her writing is also very powerful. So through her writings, she is inspiring them. It already proved. She is trying to empower them. And we can see that she is giving a positive energy towards all the Aboriginals. Even in her literary works, novels, poems, etc., she tries to relate to the life of her student community and fellow beings. We will get the proof when we are going through her works, when we are taking her poem or when we are taking her novels. We will feel it because she is connecting her life. She is connecting her fellow beings and students through her writings. She is speaking about her own life. So definitely she is involving all the characters in her works. So definitely it has the life. So it will be reached very easily into the hearts of all Aboriginals. Not only Aboriginals, when we are reading, definitely we can also feel the same because we are human beings. So we can understand the reality. We can understand the strength of positivity. I tell you, she is very optimistic in her attitude. Her aim is to make them empowered, the Aboriginals. And she is proud as in Okanagan. She is proud of her tradition. Whatever the knowledge she collected through her research, she is sharing all these information through her writings with her students and fellow beings. When we read it, all her books, if it is her poem, novels, definitely we will feel it. One of the objectives of her research and writing is to revitalize the indigenous methods of knowledge, documentation and storytelling, which is deliberately substituted by Western conventions, causing a cultural blindness. I told you, she has her own determination. So when we are taking her research, we can easily understand the objectives of her research. Through her writings and research, she is trying to revitalize. Revitalize means make active. Revitalize means make active. She wants to make them active, the Aboriginals. So through her research and through her research and writings, she is trying to revitalize the indigenous methods of knowledge documentation. Have you remembered that? She already learned their own traditional education from her Okanagan elders. They have their own educational system. She is very confident about the system. She also condemns the Western philosophers and their educational objectives. She proved that by showing the increasing death rate of suicides. So that is why through her writings and research, she wants to document the indigenous methods of knowledge. Why? There is another reason. Because here Western philosophers, Western education objectives, it tries to make a blindness in their culture, in Aboriginals' culture. So she wants to make them understand the importance of Aboriginals culture. She wants to remove the influence of the Western conventions. She wants to remove the cultural blindness. Well, if you get the point. Actually, I repeat, actually, Western philosophers, they already made their own educational objectives. We already found the result, increasing suicide rate of individuals. Based on that, based on the increasing suicide rates, she says they are trying to make a cultural blindness. So through her writings and research, she is speaking about the indigenous methods of knowledge, how it should be documented. She is trying to that. Janet Armstrong has a clear objective in her research and writing. First one, to activate the indigenous methods of knowledge through documentation and storytelling. She is also using the method of storytelling. I think storytelling can give a positivity among the people. Nowadays, nowadays a teacher already very popular through the storytelling. Have you remembered the teacher? Yes. Okay. Then, like that, Janet Armstrong, she is also using storytelling to make them understand about the importance of their own culture, their own tradition. She wants to remove the cultural blindness by Western conventions. That is her main aim. She is proud of Okanagan culture. So she wants to conserve and give maximum awareness of all Aboriginal culture through her research and writings. I think all of you got a clear picture about Janet Armstrong. There is no doubt it is. She is a poet, novelist. She also wrote the children's books, educationalist. She is hardworking and she is very optimistic in her attitudes, and she wants to make them understand about their Aboriginals tradition. Let us speak about Janet Armstrong's article, I Stand With You Against the Disorder. It is an article in Yes magazine posted by Janet Armstrong on November 8, 2005. So this is the exact we are going to study. The title of our third chapter is, it is an article, I stand with you against the disorder. I stand with you against the disorder. It is an article first published in Yes magazine on November 8, 2005. This article was adapted from Paradigm Was Indigenous Peoples' Resistance to Economic Globalization. It is edited by Jerry Manter and Victoria Towley Corpus. In this article, Armstrong points out the destructive effects of global economy. She declares her unflinching loyalty to the Okanagan community and all other similar indigenous tribes who are compelled to become cheap labor force and face the threat of dispossession, becoming victims of privatization of land and thoughtless exploitation of resources. When we are speaking about this article, I stand with you against the disorder. Through this, Janet Armstrong declares her unflinching loyalty. Unflinching means unshakable. So she is optimistic in her attitudes. She wants to make them empowered. So we can see the unflinching, unshakable loyalty to the Okanagan community and all other similar indigenous people, indigenous tribes. Here these aboriginals who are compelled to become cheap labor force and face the threat of dispossession. Dispossession means take land possession. We already studied all such dispositions in our second semester. Have you remembered? Chief Seattle and Redditance. So like the same happened here. Okay, so here she already promised the unflinching loyalty to the Okanagan community and also the other indigenous tribes. She is ready to stand with them. That is the title. I stand with you against the disorder. I am always with you against the injustice. There is no doubt it is. So she is ready to stand with them, these indigenous people. She is ready to stand against such injustice. What are the injustice? They are forced to become cheap labor force and they are face the threat of dispossession and they are becoming the victims of privatization of land and the thoughtless exploitation of resources. They didn't get the proper income, they didn't get the labor, they didn't get the proper fee, labor fee, and they are forced to victim as a privatization and they can't do anything relating the exploitation of resources. They became very weak, they can't act against it. So she is ready to stand with them against these injustice. We already knew that she is very optimistic in her attitude. She is very strong lady. The westernization of undeveloped cultures is only a cunning pretext to generate new markets. So we already knew that the Western culture, then the westernization, they are so cunning and they want to generate new market on undeveloped cultures through this privatization. They are spoiling the resources, they are exploiting the resources without any thought, without the thoughts. The Okanagans, according to Armstrong, are people who promote bioregionally self-sufficient economics and the knowledge that the total community must be engaged in order to attain sustainability. So she has the clear aim in her mind about Okanagans. We already knew that they are closely attached with nature. So they can promote bioregionally self-sufficient economies. They knew it well how to protect the nature, how to protect the resources for future. They knew it. So she wants to promote bioregionally self-sufficient economies. Through that, these people can be engaged in order to attain sustainability. They can able to continue for a long time. She wants to make them empowered. The objective of the article is her declaration solidarity against the violence of cultural imperialism. I think all of you know about what it is cultural imperialism. It means samskariga samrajyatvam. That means a policy by which a country increases its power on a particular country. So, through this article, she declares that she never allowed the violence of cultural imperialism on indigenous people, indigenous tribes. It is not possible. And even she is against the cultural imperialism. She is ready to stand with the aboriginals. She aspires to change the prevalent paradigms of development and progress by joining hands with the Okanagans. That is why she aspires. That means she motivates. She always motivates to change the powerful pattern of development. And she also motivates them to joining hands with the Okanagans, because she is involving in a cultural survival. I hope all of you got the idea about who is Janet Armstrong. What is she conveying through her article, I stand with you against the disorder. Through this article, actually she declares, I am with you, with the Okanagan people and also the same indigenous tribes. She is ready to stand against the injustice. Then we can move to the text. Okay. Page number 31. I am from the Okanagan, a part of British Columbia that is very dry and hot. Around my birthplace are two rocky mountain ranges, the Cascades on one side and the Selkirks on the other. The main river that flows through our land is the Columbia. Okay, she starts this text like this. I am from the Okanagan. I am from the Okanagan family. It is an indigenous tribe. So she says very confidently, she is very proud as an Okanagan. That is why she says, I am a Okanagan. Okanagan, a part of British Columbia, a region in the Canadian province of British Columbia. Okanagan, it is a region in the Canadian province of British Columbia. So, very proudly she says, I am an Okanagan. This place is very dry and hot. Around my birthplace are two rocky mountain ranges. She is speaking about her birthplace. It is very hot and dry also. Around her birthplace, there are two rocky mountains, the Cascades on one side and the Selkirks on the other side. Then she also reveals that the main river that flows through our lands is the Columbia. Have you heard about the river, the Columbia? Columbia River is the largest river in the Pacific Northwest region of North America. It is the largest river in the Pacific Northwest region of North America. The river is 1,243 miles long. The river rises in the Rocky Mountains of British Columbia, Canada. The fourth largest river in the United States by volume, the Columbia has the greatest flow of any North American river entering the Pacific. Okay, so it is the largest river in the Pacific Northwest region of North America. So she says the main river Columbia that flows through our lands. Which is their land? Yes, Okanagan. So she is very proud as in Okanagan. Then this place is very hot and dry. We can see two rocky mountain ranges, Cascades and Selkirks. In addition, we can see the largest river in the Pacific, the Columbia, flows through this region. My mother is a river Indian. The Kettle River people are in charge of the fisheries in the northern parts of the Columbia River system in our territories. Then she is speaking about her mother's family. Her mother is a river Indian, Colorado River Indian tribes. That is the full form. Colorado River Indian tribes. Okay, so her mother belongs Colorado River Indian tribes. It is enough to say river Indian. Okay, I just used the full form. Her mother belongs a river Indian, Colorado River Indian tribes. The Kettle River people are in charge of the fisheries in the northern parts of the Columbia River system in our territories. Then Kettle River. Kettle River is a 281 kilometer tributary of the Columbia River. Tributary means, have you heard the word tributary? Tributary means a river or stream flowing into a larger river. Okay, it is a small river or a stream. It flows into a larger river. Okay, so the Kettle River, it flows into the Columbia River. So her mother belongs in a river Indian tribe. Then the Kettle River people are in charge of the fisheries in the northern parts of the Columbia River system in our territories. Then river Indians, they are living near the Kettle River. So they are also known as Kettle River people. The Kettle River people are in charge of fisheries in the northern parts of Columbia. Basically, they are fisheries. They are depending on the Kettle River. The Kettle River, it is the tributary of the Columbia River. Okay, Columbia River that flows through the Okanagan. This Kettle River flows through the river Indians area. My father's people are mountain people. They occupied the northern part of British Columbia known as the Okanagan Valley. My father's people were hunters. My name is passed on from my father's side of the family is my great-grandmother's name. Then she is speaking about her father's side. Her father's people are known as mountain people because they occupied the northern part of British Columbia and even that part known as the Okanagan Valley. And basically her father's families, they were hunters, but in the case of her mother's family, there were fisheries, but her father's families, they were hunters. She has also a history about her name. My name is passed on from my father's side of the family and is my great grandmother's name. Actually, she got the Armstrong's name from her great grandmother's name. Okay, we have also such a system. I think we are also using this style, I think, for naming. So I think all of you got the idea about Janet Armstrong's father's family, mother's family, and Okanagan. She belongs Okanagan family. This place is very dry and hot. We can see two mountains, Cascades and Selkirks. The largest river, the Columbia, flows through their land. Then about her mother's family, she belongs River Indian. The Kettle River that flows through their area, it flows into the larger river, the Columbia. Basically, her mother's families are fisheries. Then about her father's family, they are mountain people. They were hunters. They occupied in the northern part of British Columbia. That is why they were known as the Okanagan Valley. And her name she already got from her great grandmother's name. I am associated with my father's side, but I have a right and responsibility to the river through my mother's birth and my family education. Definitely she is following her father's tradition. That is why I repeated several times she is a Okanagan. But at the same time she declares that I have the responsibility to protect my mother's tradition, because she is not only standing for the Okanagans but also for the indigenous tribes. That is why she says she is standing with you against the disorder. So she already understood she has the commitment and responsibility to protect all the indigenous tribes. So that is who I am. So she introduced herself, all the details she included. When I introduce myself to my own people in my own language, I describe these things because it tells them what my responsibilities are and what my goal is, what I need to carry with me, what I project, what I teach, and what I think about, what I must do and what I can't do. I told you she already studied their own educational system from the Okanagan elders. She can fluently speak her own Okanagan language. So she says, I can fluently speak in my own language. Why I describe all these details? You know the reason. She says, I have the responsibilities. I have my own goal. I have my own aim. I know clearly what I carry with me. I know what I project. Project means plan for a time in future. I know what I teach. I am thinking about all these things in detail. I am doing the research. I am collecting all the details. So she has a clear idea about what should she do. She already proves it. She is very optimistic in her attitude. So I think all of you travel with me with Janet Armstrong. The article, I stand with you against the disorder. Okay, we can continue in the next class. Thank you.